Have you ever wanted to quickly set up a development environment without the hassle of installing dependencies and configuring your machine? Or new team members joining your project and needing to set up their environment, which can be time-consuming and error-prone? I will show how I do it in 2 clicks. Here you can see I don't have Python installed in my machine. First click and second click. Few seconds and my development environment is ready to use. Now as you can see, the development environment is already set up with all the necessary tools and dependencies pre-installed. We can also see the Run button, which allows us to run the code directly in the browser without needing to set up anything on our local machine. When I run this code, it will open my YouTube channel in a new tab. In terminal, we can see that my print message is printed successfully. This is the magic of GitHub Codespaces. Now I will show you how you can do this for your project as well. This is the sample Python project repo I am going to use. You can also do this in an empty project. If project is not ready, the run py contains small Python code, which opens my YouTube channel. To enable GitHub Codespaces for this project, first select Code button and in Codespaces tab create Codespaces on master. This will open a temporary IDE which will not contain all the required dependencies. Through this temporary IDE we will create required files. It gives a welcome message when it is loaded. After IDE is loaded, we can see my run py file is present, but I am not able to run the code. Now we shall create required files. In command palette, search for Codespaces, add dev container configuration files and select it. Next, select create a new configuration. Next, search for your project language. Like this is a Python project, so selecting Python 3. Next, select Python version. Next, I will ask for additional feature we can ignore for now. That's it. The required file will be generate, which is the container JSON. We can ignore other file for now. We can give any name here. Image will a Python image. This is related to Docker. If you don't know, we can ignore it for now. Changing name to Python Codespaces. Now commit these files to your GitHub repo to allow others to use Codespace for this repo project. Now we shall rebuild Codespace to apply the changes. In command palette, search for Codespaces, rebuild container and select full rebuild. This will take a few seconds to rebuild the Codespace for the first time. You can see what is done in background by clicking on bottom right pop-up. Finished configuring Codespace message will be shown. After rebuilding, we can see that the Run button is enabled. You can see required extensions are installed automatically. This completes the setup of GitHub Codespaces for this project. I will delete the codespace created and see how easily the setup will be completed next time. We can see the dev container.json file is present in the repo. Now 2 clicks will create a new codespace. Creating a new codespace will take a few seconds to set up the environment. When it is ready, it opens the README file by default. If you cannot run the code after the setup is done, it means extensions are still installing. Check in the Extension tab. The installation is completed. Now try to run the file and it should run. If you are done with your coding, stopping the codespace is a good idea to save resources. To do this, click the bottom left corner of the Codespaces section and select Stop Current Codespace. This will stop the codespace and you can resume it later. We can close the tab after a few seconds as it closes on its own. Now let's reopen Codespace. Setting up the environment will take less time as it has already been created. Any changes made to your code will be saved in the codespace until the codespace is deleted. Now I am adding a new print statement to the run.py file and not committing it. Now I will stop the codespace and reopen it. As you can see, the changes are saved in the codespace. This is how you can start a complete development environment without installing anything on your machine and using only a browser. If you don't like IDE in a browser and want a whole IDE experience, we can do that with Codespaces. Stay tuned for the following video, click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to get notified when the next video is released.